Alright, hey y'all, welcome to this short, hopefully short tutorial on making a rollover button. So this is after you did your logo or your coat of arms. Here's just a sample one that I made a while ago. So what I mean by a button is, see how when you roll the mouse over it, it just flips out and it changes, alright? So if you think about it, what's happening here, I made two different files, two different pictures. There's my first picture, and then I make a second picture that looks like that. And then inside Dreamweaver, I'm going to go ahead and say insert interactive image rollover, and then Dreamweaver is going to give it that little effect. If you forget how to do that, that's alright. Just watch what I'm going to do. So what I'm going to start here is I'm going to slide that out. I'm going to start with my, I did that family crest, alright? And you guys, if you just watched this tutorial, I went ahead and finished it. So I'm going to use this as my starting point. Now, my family crest is pretty big. So buttons are usually smaller. So what I'm going to do is, first thing is I'm going to do, see, it's called coat of arms, right up here. I'm going to do a save as. I'm going to put this into my fireworks folder. I make a new folder called buttons, alright? I just made a new folder, I already did that part. And I'm going to put this coat of arms inside here, but instead of calling it coat of arms, I'm going to call it coat button 1. And I'm going to make a second one, that's why I'm going to call it one button 1 and one button 2. I'm going to save it. Good. Now, since it's a button, I want to make everything smaller, so it's just going to look tighter. So what I'm going to do is go to Modify, Canvas, Image Size, alright? I'm going to reduce the size of this image. I'm going to cut it in about half, so I'm going to make it like 225. Now it's going to pop it down, it's going to be tighter, it's going to be more like a button, that's going to look better. I'm going to save it again. Alright, so that's my original button. I don't have to do too much for it. Now what I want to do is do a save as, make a second version of it. So I got coat button 1, now I want to make coat button 2. Voila. Now coat button 2, that's the one where I'm going to change things up. So you can be like creative with this, change things all around. Like one thing you could do is, I'm going to add glows. So when I touch roll over the button, things are going to start to glow. So I'm going to click on that little yoga man, go to my shadow glow, add a little glow to it. I'm going to come to my represents my scholarliness. So I'm going to click on that, go to my glow, where are you? Shadow glow, and this time my glow I'm going to make it like I'm going to make it like blue. How about, and I'm going to jack it up a little bit, make it bigger, so it's kind of really sticking out. And then the basketball, it's already red, so when I add that glow, I'll make the glow yellow. Shadow glow, make that like yellow. There you go. Hot. And that's my plant, because I'm always talking about seeds, so I did that. Shadow glow, I'll make that one kind of green. Glow, like a bright kind of green. Nice, because green is for growth, right? And then I'm going to change up the background color a little bit. So I clicked on here, since I'm working off of my original PNG file, I still have all these layers. That's important, you need all those layers. So you can go ahead and change them. If you open up your JPEG file, you won't have that there. You have to go get the other one. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to make this one be like maybe yellow and then up to, say, black, something like that. And then now let's see, what else can I do? You know, another thing that will look good is to take this shield and add an emboss to it. So if you go into bevel and emboss, an inner bevel, check that out. And then you can change it from flat. I'm going to make it to frame 1. And I'm going to increase the size. Or you could check frame 2, see which one you like. You could check the ring. It's kind of cool. The ruffle. I kind of like the ruffle. I don't know. And you can increase the size even more, right? So now it kind of looks very different. And why don't I do a whole a glow on the whole thing? So nice, tight, it looks all red, glows out. So now let's open up that original again, coat button 1. So my original one's going to look like this, and then when I roll over it, it's going to change it out to like that. I'm going to save this. Now remember what you want to do. You don't want to work with the PNGs. I want to export them as JPEGs first. So I'm going to go to Optimize, JPEG better quality. I'm going to 2-up it. I'm going to export it out. I'm going to make sure I get it into the right folder. So I'm going to put that into my fireworks folder. Mine might look a little different than yours, but here I put it right here, buttons. And I'm going to call it coat button 2. This is the PNG, and this one I'm going to export is going to be the JPEG. And I'm going to do the same thing for button 1. Go to 2 up, JPEG, better quality, export it out. Alright, tight. Now come to Dreamweaver. I already got my Dreamweaver open. So I'm going to open that up. I'm going to say File, New, create a basic page, HTML, create that page. I'm going to give it a title, buttons. Before I put my graphics in, I want to save this page. Where are you going to save it? Well, why don't you save it right inside your, I'm going with my web design folder, going into my fireworks, I'm going right into my buttons. I'm just going to call it buttons. Now, how do you get the button in there? This is the part if you forgot. It's insert, image object, what? There. Roll over. And it says, well, what's the original image? I'm going to say browse. It's the coat button 1. I want the JPEG file. See how I just touched it and let it roll up because they both look the same. This is the PNG. That's a lot bigger. This is the one I want. It's only 9K. So that's my original one. I'm going to say OK. And then it's going to roll over to coat button 2, which is the JPEG. There it is. Nice. And then image name, I could call it button. Okay. There it goes. Now, did it work? Let's see. I'm going to F12 it. Because if you just touch it here, you don't really know. Save changes, sure. And then now it's going to open up a browser. Taking a minute. I'll bring it over. There it goes. Allow block content. Would you like to be? No. So notice what happened with that. Since it's got that, like, it's got some kind of programming in it, the Internet Explorer was blocking. I had to answer that question first. It went by fast. But then it went allowed. Now see how it works. So when I roll up on it, you can tell it's a button. Nice. And you know, you might want, if your buttons, you might want to get rid of this whole background thing because it looks kind of weird because the rest of the page is white. So you could also just get rid of that background. You know, like with the yellow and the black background, which would be over here. It would be over in that layer right here. So you could delete that for the buttons, just for the purpose of buttons. It would probably look better. Truthfully, I think it would. So have some fun with it, you know, be creative and see what you come up with. Maybe yours will be as nice as mine. Whoop. I like mine, it's pretty good. All right, have fun with it.